In some aspects like not dependency, not corruption. These are things which have ruined Africa. We might give to Africa, and we do, we give huge amounts. We've actually taken out more from Africa. What we need to think about sustainably for Africa, and best for Africa, is to actually help them to use and keep all these natural resources and use them for their benefit for the rest of the world, not from our point of view. Before that, they were growing their crops. America apparently spends more on its cotton subsidies than its whole aid budget to Africa. Utterly, was $2 a cow. Many people in Africa are living on $1 a person or less. Is that right? Somewhere along the line, a cow is getting more than a person. Aid is not sustainable. The way forward, we need to develop our economy sustainably. We need to try and get back country ownership to these places. We need to reward local innovation. Stop feeding corruption. Every time we give money, particularly into the governments, how much of it comes out?
Metering and saving money, and we show that the average household that moves on to a meter will save £100 a year in terms of bills, and that's 45. This is the trends in consumption per person in England 2000 to 2011, and you've got all households there, metered households, the metered household use coming down there, and unmetered household use going up there. And they say in their report that it's the first time in 11 years that unmetered consumption is going up. What we found is that if you go in and work with the customer and understand how they use water, and try and give them the same experience with water after you've fitted the water efficient devices, then you have a good take-up and a good experience. And what we're seeing through this campaign is an average of 49 litres per household per day reduction on average. Meters won't work as effectively as they can be unless you have that programme of engagement and behavioural change, I guess, as part of it. Great, but if you're an affluent family, does £100 matter to you or not, or would you rather have a green lawn? And what we have seen is that actually the environment is more of a trigger for those affluent families, and trying to connect with the carbon debate. So using 40 less litres of water there means we have to treat and pump that around, and that's 41 grams of carbon kind of saved in the process. So we're looking at all sorts of ways of trying to get that message about.
And what is Go Green? Our project is about action learning opportunities for students, organizations, and universities to learn more about education for sustainable development.
In Germany, I have the feeling that I have a gap while my education relating to sustainability, being green, and I think the pilot is a really good opportunity for students to just exchange experiences, knowledge as well. And that's why I think this project is really extraordinary, because we learn from each other as well from the workshops and seminars.
I come from a background where environmental issues are at the climax, sustainability. And so when I heard of the Go Green project, I was very much interested. And Go Green has exposed me to a different way of learning. As part of the research, I learned from the organization and as well to supplement my knowledge from the university. So it's a different way of learning entirely.
And I think these projects give our opportunity to thinking as a professional, not a student.
I was wondering if there's a problem with climate change because it's associated in people's minds, doing something about climate change is associated in people's minds so much with giving things up. Climate change doesn't have to be about giving things up, and that when you ask people what really brings them well-being, they talk about friends, family and health, and those are all things that could be enhanced by ways in which we can deal with climate change. So, for example, fewer cars on the roads, more chance for people to cycle and walk and so on, is something that will enhance people's health, will give chance for kids to be playing out in the streets, make stronger communities. So I found that, you know, it's a really interesting and really good point about how we frame things. Is it about sacrifice? That's not a helpful frame for a lot of people. Suggesting that engaging people in the subject of climate change through thinking about well-being for all rather than framing it as an environmental problem might be useful.